So the next practice we're going to do is triangle breathing. Everybody's teaching triangle breathing, right? But we're going to do it slightly differently, because what I want you to do is I want you to really pay attention to where the breath is comfortable and where it's uncomfortable. So we're going to be breathing in, we're going to be holding the breath either at the end of the inhale and at the end of the exhale, depending. But we're going to be feeling into how that feels, and I'll explain why. One of the things about being a human being is that our breathing is uncoupled purely from movement and from metabolism, from metabolic demand, and it's connected to how we communicate. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking inhales and I'm breathing out and squeezing those exhales with belly muscles, with chest muscles, with throat muscles, with face muscles, to squeeze into different sounds so I can make sense and communicate to you. And that is control of breathing. And that's why we can do conscious breath work. Now, because of that, our thinking is also connected to our breathing. So when we think difficult things, it affects our breath directly. Dogs and cats don't have that problem. Right? So, and also, as children, we talked about trauma, we talked about difficulty in childhood adversity. So as children, when we learn to manage difficult things, we will learn to manage those complexities that we can't process, partly by using our breath and body muscles. So if we've got a feeling we can't feel or can't express or can't deal with, we squeeze it in and hold it tight, or we push it out, and we use parts of the breath cycle, whether the inhale, the exhale, or the transition, the breath in or the breath out, the holds, to manage that emotional complexity. That's part of what being a human is. So we want to know where those triggers are on our breath. We talked a lot about triggers and about undoing and resolving triggers. We have to know where they are. So we can use this practice partly as a way of feeling into the breath and noticing any areas that are uncomfortable. Now, I'll give you an example. I had one client who, as a young girl, had been attacked, and her father was beaten up in front of her, and she was punched in her face, and her nose was broken, and really sad situation. But she felt really uncomfortable at the end of the exhale. And everybody teaches that as you lengthen the exhale, what's going to happen is you're going to get calm. Well, not if you've got a trauma trigger there, you're not. You're going to feel distressed. Yeah? So that didn't work for her, obviously. I had another client who every time she held her breath in, she felt like she was falling off the edge of a cliff, because she had done a lot of trauma holding when she was a kid by holding the breath at the in point and squeezing everything there. And it felt really uncomfortable to her. So we've got different triggers and different ways that we do it. Sometimes people have thoughts and feelings, and then they start taking control of their breath, and they start breathing in a way that takes them into a hypercapnic state as a way of managing the complexity they're in. So we have triggers within the breath cycle, and we want to uncover those. So this is a way, first of all, of finding them, and secondly, as a way of beginning to resolve them. So we have to listen to the inside. Is that okay? Awesome. So, again, sitting comfortably, you're going to be breathing in through both nostrils, tongue behind the top teeth, face as relaxed as you can make it. And the first breath hold we're going to breathe in and then breathe out and hold the breath at the end of the exhale. And just notice how it is. We're not going to hold it for a count, because that's dominating the breath. It's imposing something on the breath, and I want you to listen. So just hold it for as long as it feels comfortable, and then come into the inhale from there. And notice how the inhale is. If the inhale is erratic, if the inhale feels like it's breathless, air hungry, you held the breath too long. You're not listening. So really listen to the inhale. Listen to the quality of the exhale. Make the breath in as long as you can. Make the breath out as long as you can. Hold the breath out for as long as your body says it's good to do, and feel it. If it's really short, it may be that you have a trigger there. Start to notice how it feels. So the first practice here, is holding the breath at the end of the exhale. Just take a few more rounds of doing that. Breathing in, straight into the exhale, lengthening the inhale and exhale as much as you can. And then from there, holding that exhale out and noticing how it is and getting really aware of this aspect of the breath cycle. The second game we're going to play with the triangle is breathing in and then holding the breath at the top of the inhale and then breathing out, holding again the breath for as long as it feels good. Doesn't matter how long it is. No heroics here. It's possible you can hold the breath longer on the inhale because there's more oxygen in the lungs. The lungs are full of air. Might be the case, but how does it feel? How slow can you make the exhale afterwards? So we're using this triangle breathing as a way of exploring the breath holding at the end of the inhale and the end of the exhale, just to see how does it feel? Is it comfortable? And it might be really comfortable for you on both, which is fantastic. So then what you can do is you can work with really slowing down that inhale, slowing that exhale down as much as you can. Hold the breath out for as long as you can, but make sure that the following part of the breath, whether it's the inhale or the exhale, feels really clear, really comfortable, slow, gentle, quiet. So it's not hurried, it's not breathless, it's not air hungry. So you've got this triangle practice, which is a way of exploring potential triggers in the breath. It's a way of getting really comfortable with breath holding and a way of building up a real level of appreciation and comfort with the eukapnic state, the good level of the optimal level of carbon dioxide in the blood. So it gets really comfortable and easy and delightful. So this is a lovely practice to engage in. And again, it's a nice one to do when you're relatively empty of food. Breath holding often works better when you're relatively empty of food. So you might want to do that before you eat. Excellent.